Hello, hello, hello out there. This is the Master Communicator, and you are listening to Author Central Station. Sharon C. Jenkins in the house and loving authors from all over the world. We are on Afro Vibes Radio worldwide in 178 countries. So if you're tuning in the AM, in the PM, or wherever you're tuning in, know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we have something that's good and great for you. We don't serve bad medicine here at Author Central Station. We have some of the best authors in the city come and visit us. And we also have international authors call in. So we call ourselves Author Central Station because we are authors who are from around the world. So today I have two guests and I am so happy. We're going to do ladies first. And we have Natalia Sylvester, and her book is Everyone Knows You Go Home. Everyone Knows You Go Home. And then I got this handsome dude over here. His name is Rick Chafford, and I keep messing up.
Rick Chafford.
Chafford. Rick
Chafford.
Chafford.
There you go. That's what it is.
Yay! He's over here on the right-hand side, so we're going to do ladies first today. And I just want to tell you a little bit about Natalia. I just love her. Met her. We met her on Wednesday. We met her, and we had a good time. So Natalia, you've written this wonderful novel, and my research says that you've written 2 books.
Yeah, this is my second.
Ah.
The first came out in 2014. It was called Chasing the Sun.
Ah, okay. So why do you write, Natalia? Why do you write?
Wow. I've always written for as long as I can remember. It's basically once I started to learn to read, I wanted to be writing as well. And it fascinated me so much, and it was just a way to process the world around me and to kind of even discover what my thoughts really were about what's going on around me. And so, it's one of those things that, and it's also always changing, right? Like, I don't know that myself personally, know that there's any one answer. I feel like it's always evolving as I grow as a person as well. And it changes with each story that we tell. And this particular story felt really important for me to write because, so Everyone Knows You Go Home is about a Mexican-American family. It traces 2 generations of a family after they've come from Mexico into the United States. And when the book opens, it's the wedding day of Martin and Isabel, the 2 main characters. It's also the Day of the Dead. And Martin's estranged father, who also happens to be dead, appears on their wedding day, and no one will talk to him. And so the only person who will talk to him is Isabel. And Isabel and Omar, who's his father, end up developing this very special bond over the years because he keeps coming back every Day of the Dead, every anniversary. And she's trying to figure out why he has crossed, from the land of the dead into the land of the living. And meanwhile, she and her husband, they end up being visited by their teenage nephew, who has crossed the border from Mexico into Texas with, in need of a place to stay. So the book really traces this idea of crossings, both the physical and the spiritual. And I guess for me it became a way of exploring themes around family and love and sacrifice, and also immigration and the ways that we try to create homes in new places, and what happens when we perhaps feel kind of caught in between the places that we left and the places that we are now calling home. And so for me personally, this story became a way to really explore a lot of the experiences that me as an immigrant and a lot of people who I know and love as immigrants and people in my community had experienced.
So you were born in Lima, Peru.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And you were 4 years old when you immigrated to the United States?
Yeah.
Wow, so you are a Florida native now, or you just hanging out in Texas? What you
No,
doing here, girl?
So we moved to Miami when I was very young, and we moved around a lot. Like, mostly we were in Miami for quite some time. Then we went to Gainesville in Central Florida. Then we went to Texas. So I lived in McAllen, which is where the book is set, for a few years, and also moved around again. And now I'm in Austin. So yeah, I mean Texas is home. at this point.
It's something about Texas. I mean, I'm originally from Virginia, but when I came here, it was like, the only thing I don't like is traffic and the heat in the summers, but everything else I'm in love with, definitely in love with.
Yeah.
So let me see, you have a BA in creative writing from the University of Miami.
Mm-hmm.
You are a former magazine editor, and now you work as a freelance writer in Texas. And you are also a faculty member of the low-res MFA program at Regis University.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it! Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more offline. So tell me a little bit about this creative writing experience.
I remember one time when I was in college, I didn't know that a major in creative writing existed. I happened to be walking around school, and I think I had been a journalism major at the time. I was wandering through the Arts and Science building. I think I saw a brochure and it said creative writing major, and I think that's one of the luckiest things I ever experienced in my life, because it was the first time I thought, somebody like me could major in creative writing. Like, this idea of being an author just didn't ever seem attainable to me, because nobody really goes out and tells you, like, hey, here's how you become an author. Like, there's no one path for it, right? And in a lot of ways that there are certain paths that are mandatory for other careers. And so I decided to switch my major, and I got incredibly lucky. I had some amazing mentors who really taught me all about the art of writing, all the different tools that you use. Just the same way that like a filmmaker needs to know all the different techniques and everything. I got to learn so much more about writing from this other side. Because I've been doing it my whole life, but without a lot of guidance, right? And so this was really transformative for me, and it was also really, affirming to have someone suddenly encouraging you on a path in which, for the most part, for me, had been very lonely, because I'd just been writing on my own. And then when I graduated college, I kind of took that foundation that I learned and really just saw where else can I go with it. So at that point, it became about finding other resources. Usually most cities or states have a writers resource center. Here in Texas, we have the Writers League of Texas, which I joined as soon as I moved here 8 years ago. And it was through them that I learned about writing workshops. I learned about, they have an annual conference that is an agents and editors conference, and so you can sign up to pitch your work to agents and editors. And so there was this whole other side of it that was just the business side of publishing, right? And so they were really instrumental for me in learning that side as well, and somehow being able to combine those two elements and having the art background and then the business background in order to make something like a book happen.
That's a powerful story. A lot of people take education for granted when it comes to writing a book, because in our mindset, the myth is that everybody can write a book or everybody has a story.
Right.
But everybody may have a story, but not everybody can write a good book.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I'm just curious. Are you ready for this question?
I don't know. Let's see.
I'm so very curious. I see that you are an award-winning author with your first book. Tell us a little bit about that. How did that make you feel? That's a great stroke.
It was really amazing. It was one of those things that I logged onto Facebook one day, and there it was. It was because so my book got named the best debut book of 2014. Chasing the Sun. That was my first book. And it was wonderful. It was named that by this organization called Latinidad, and so the founder of it really she produces an annual award on any writing having written by Latinx people, and so yeah, it was a real honor, and that she connected so much to the book. the things that she said about it was really, really kind, and it meant a lot to me.
Well, you know what? It's a rarity that a first-time author gets that kind of award. And so we here at Author Central Station want to say congratulations. And if you would do my guest the honor, can you tell them a little bit about our story, how I met you on Wednesday?
Oh, sure. Yeah, Sharon and I met at the Nuestra Palabra Latino Writers Having Their Say event. It was actually their 20th anniversary event.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a really wonderful celebration. Nuestra Palabra has been here in Houston. For 20 years, and they started out really just wanting to amplify Latino voices and having a place for writers to gather every month and share their work and support one another, and they've been doing that for 20 years.
Wow.
So yeah, it was really incredible, and it was really, like, for me as someone who, since I live in Austin, I've really mostly watched it from afar through social media, just kind of hearing about Tony Diaz, who's one of the organizers.
My friend.
Yeah, just and hearing about his work. So it was really great to be here for that.
Wow. Well, Natalia, I want to say to you, it is my pleasure to interview you today, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the New York Times bestselling list.
Thank you very much.
Because, I fell in love with this book when I first saw it, and I haven't even read page 1 yet, so I can't wait to get my copy. The other thing, for our listening audience, can you please let us know how they can contact you?
Sure. So I am at nataliasylvester.com, and I'm also on Instagram and Twitter as @nataliasylv. And
Wow.
that's NATALIASYLV.
And your parting words for first-time authors, what are they?
Keep going.
Yes, keep the faith. Stay persistent, persevere.
Yeah.
Thank you, Natalia.
Thank you,
We really
Sharon.
appreciate you, all the way from Austin, guys. So, you know what? We just had a wonderful time, Natalia and I, but we got to take a break. We gotta take a break, and when we come back, we'll have Rick. And Rick is gonna tell us a little bit about the 2 books that he's written, and I can tell you they are deep, D-E-E-P. All right, this is Author Central Station. Sharon C. Jenkins, the Master Communicator, and we will be right back. We are back. This is the Master Communicator, Sharon C. Jenkins, and you are listening to Author Central Station on Afro Vibes Radio worldwide. We are in 178 countries. So guess what? If you are on Author Central Station today, you are international author. So we got Peru over here, and we got Houston over here.
We actually got Boston, right?
Boston, woo! That's where that I picked up a little accent there, Rick.
Just a little twang.
So, you know what? I want to make sure that my Facebook Live people see Rick, and I'm going to let Foss work this out for me. So let me tell you a little bit about Rick, and I have to get this name right. Chaffold.
Chaffold.
Oh,
Good,
Lord
good.
Jesus, I
You still got
tried.
it. You're a work in progress.
I'm trying. You know what? I'm a Virginia girl, and I got 2 masters. I really do.
It's all good.
Okay, he is the founder of More Than a Rib, a movement to advance a deeper and growing appreciation for women by changing how women are portrayed and how women portray themselves. Rick's personal motivation comes from being raised in a drug-filled environment layered with domestic violence. Rick is also a proud father of 2 teenage. Three?
So I have I'm a grandfather now.
Woo! Go ahead now. You don't look like a grandfather.
That's good. That's good. I have 3. I have a 17-year-old, 21-year-old, and 22-year-old.
Oh, go ahead now. So he saw the opportunity to share this message of More Than a Rib, not only as a way to empower mothers, but also as a way to lead by example and give his daughter some encouraging structure. And now he's a grandfather. I had to throw that in there. In the midst of challenges that young women face. And you know what, Rick, I'm going to be honest with you. Today is a great day for us to have this conversation. And also, before I forget, he has another book.
Absolutely.
I have
Yeah,
some prolific authors here. Okay, so I'm going to let you tell us about Booktube, but I'm going to ask you some questions on book one. You okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, because this started the movement.
Absolutely.
Okay.
A thought started the movement.
Okay,
and the thought was observing, you know, how my household was ran, observing where I came from, and being, a lot of people don't know this, I just met my biological father 2 years ago.
Wow.
So in living with a stepfather that was on drugs and had my mother on drugs, then to come 360 around and actually meet your biological father, you know, that can be a life-changing situation. In the midst of all that, I just seen how the community was reacting to systematic oppression that is placed before us as Afro-American individuals, especially our Afro-American young men. So I wanted to change the dynamic. I wanted to be able to do something. And I was trying to figure out a way, and I said, let me see who I can reach. I started with my partner, Seven the Poet, and started on Facebook, just, you know, saying this is what we're getting ready to do. This is how we're going to handle the situation. And then we put the first book out. We just tried to address the opportunities in the Afro-American community, and we started with women. Women are to be praised. You are mothers, you are the life givers. But in that, there are still opportunities and issues that have to be dealt with as women transgress through life. The opportunities that I saw in my research were 4 things that we could not get away from in how women move forward and how they make decisions. That was domestic assault, sexual assault, single-parent households, and divorce. I remember we were doing a conference one time, and we asked anyone to sit down that was not affected by those 4 dynamics, and everybody was standing up.
Wow.
So in that, we knew that, I knew I had work to do, and this is what my passion, my purpose was for. It started out with women and evolved into the empowerment of the family unit. So the women were the base, definitely, but you can't leave the rest of the family unit behind. So we looked into evolving into the empowerment of the family unit.
Wow, wow. So Rick, I see you're not only an author, but you're an entrepreneur, you're a change agent, you're a mentor, you're a student. I understand you're working on your PhD.
Absolutely, I'm working on my PhD in organizational leadership.
Kudos, kudos. And you're a leader.
Absolutely. We have a lack of leadership all over the country, but in some aspects right here in Houston. And I'm not on the, I guess, profile, if you will, of being out in the street in regards to a public figure, as in the mayor, as in somebody I respect and admire, Bill Russell, or someone like a Dr. D. Ivan Young. But I am a behind-the-scenes person that's working every day through my actions and through my books to change lives. And we're working on mentoring. We're working on mentoring adults and children. Working on changing lives, period. But one thing that we're lacking right now and that we have to give in changing those lives is hope and perspective. More so perspective. A lot of people are not seeing clearly, and I'm trying to provide clarity through how people see things and how people go about making decisions.
So, you know, Rick, it takes courage to be a catalyst or a change agent, especially in a community. And I applaud you for having that sensitivity towards women and women's issues. We are an international radio station, And one of the things that I love about what I get a chance to do, and that is I can go into the community, or I can go to Peru and pull in authors who have common experiences, who wrestle with some of the same demons, okay, in their culture, and we can have this dialogue, and we can make a difference. She could, like my Natalia friend here, can meet this Rick friend here, and maybe you might be able to say something that will change her or her community, and vice versa.
Oh, she already has some information that I need, but she doesn't know it. So, you know, yeah, we're working on growing together, and the main thing is we have to take opportunities to bless and enjoy each other with information.
Right.
The thing the Afro-American community is missing is information.
Yeah.
And we lost without the lack of knowledge keeps us lost.
Yeah.
So all I'm trying to do is do my part, whether it's big or small, in changing the dynamic in how people, once again, it's all about how people see things and how people get over things. When the women's book was created, the main part in that was forgiveness, because as we learn, and we all know, I hope in this room, and if you don't know, you can grow from this. When you forgive, it's not for the person, it's for you. And a lot of men and a lot of women are walking around with a lot of unforgiveness, and we have to change that dynamic so we can move forward.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about the verdict with Dr. Cosby and the Me Too movement a little bit. It seems as though your message brings sensitivity, a male perspective, to some of those challenges that women have had over the years in regards to not really being perceived in the beauty of who they really are. Unfortunately, women have struggled for centuries to be equal, or to be viewed even as human beings, and or more than just a woman. So I'm curious, how does your book address or make the community more sensitive to the fact that a woman is a woman, a creature of beauty?
Well, there's not one right answer for that. That's the first thing, because the person that looks in the mirror has to have the sense of self to say, I'm beautiful, I am worth whatever my value is up here, and that's the message in the book, that we say, hey, you have to look at yourself as such, and you cannot let anyone tell you otherwise. Once you take in that negative energy, it can fester into many other things. Depression is one major thing that it can fester into. But as far as the sensitivity in what's going on in today's Me Too movement, and especially with the OJ trial, everyone has to be...
You mean Dr. Cosby?
Excuse me. I apologize. With the Dr. Cosby trial, that everyone has to be accountable for their actions. I was on Facebook earlier, just making a post. I actually did somewhat of a poem yesterday where I included that in. I wish I would have brought that. But it's Dr. Cosby has to be responsible for his actions, and the females have to be responsible for their actions. You can't have a situation without both of them. So when you have both of them, someone knows. In some cases, some don't know. But we have to, as I raise my daughters, I tell my daughters, don't put yourself in a situation that you cannot get out of. That is my training for my daughters before Dr. Cosby. Because I'm educated, I have my master's and I'm working on my PhD, but I came from the street. And in that street situation, I want my daughters to know everything that I've experienced as a man, and what a man will try to do or persuade you to do if you're not strong enough to say, no, that's not for me. And that goes to being accountable. So in the sensitivity of it, it can't be any sensitivity. We have to say it like it is. Women, be accountable for your actions. Men, be accountable for your actions. Men are prey and women are prey. Now we know that statistics show that men are up there in regards to how they prey on women or domestic violence or sexual assault. But we also have women putting themselves in situations where they can avoid that. Now this might be controversial in regards to my opinion, but I believe a lot that happens with men and women as far as unplanned pregnancy can be avoided if everybody takes responsibility for their actions.
I love it. I love it. So I hate to leave this topic, but we need to get to the second book.
Gentrification of black men.
Yes.
Rebuilding black men's minds to do better in society. It's not a secret. We are preyed upon. Black men are preyed upon. And let's just keep it real. As of yesterday, today, and the Waffle House, the 2 Waffle House incidents.
Oh, it was more than one?
Yeah, there was one where the police threw a young lady on the ground, and then there was the one with the shooting that killed the 4 individuals. And then we have what happened in Sacramento, if I'm not mistaken, with a young man carrying a cell phone. And then the police say, well, we were confused. When they carry a revolver every day, you cannot be confused. You know what a gun looks like when you put it in your holster. You know it is not a cell phone. So, to get back to the premise of this, it was like, black men, if you know there's a banana in the tailpipe, take it out and stop complaining. I'm a product of the worst in regards to the ghettos, growing up poor and having challenges in my life in regards to having parents on drugs, etc., parents and family on drugs. But I don't believe I'm the exception. I believe that everyone can progress if they put their mind to it. I see a lot of Afro-American men having victim mentality. We can't be victims if we know better. We know there's a systematic situation going on, from slavery to black codes. Most people might know about redlining, and when we get into the politics of how things work. But if we know better, we can do better. So we can't use it as an excuse anymore. It's 2018. We can't use it as an excuse anymore to say that they're against us. We have to find ways to circumvent and make room for us, because we are resilient. Black men, black women, we are resilient, and we have a place on this earth, and we are here. Now, the thing is to know that you are here and navigate and move strategically so you can be successful. And this is coming from somebody from the bottom, with the rats, roaches, eating sleep for dinner from the bottom. And once again, I'm not the exception. So this book is a kick in the butt for black men to say, hey, I know I can do better. In this book, it's 9 habits of successful black people. There's also, in the back of the book, I made sure to put a resource where you felons, I list over 100 organizations that hire felons. So I'm trying to be instrumental just in delivering something to say we can rebuild our minds to navigate in what's going on in 2018 and beyond.
Wow, wow. Well, I've got to continue this dialogue with both of you guys, but we only have 30 minutes.
That's cool. We can get it in 30 minutes.
So, Rick, let me ask you another question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I love this MTAR movement. I want to go back to that, because being a woman, it makes me feel good that somebody perceives me and is interested, not saying that I don't perceive myself, but someone else perceives the value in me. Did you write this book for a woman like me or for all women?
I wrote it for all women, and this is the thing. Once again, it goes back to perspective. Men and women have lost their perspective in the day-to-day life challenges, if you will. One day she might feel pretty, the next day she might look in the mirror and say, I'm having a hard day, and see something totally different. This book is to say, you're beautiful 24/7. Scars, no makeup, hair undone. Black men are here to accept you. And there's one out there for you if you don't have one. But this book is to say self-acceptance is the best acceptance that there is. You have to love yourself first, unconditionally, before someone else can love you. If you don't love yourself, then you will allow somebody to treat you anyway. And we have to get out of that path.
I agree. Now, Rick, you know, people are going to want to talk to you. So how can they find you? How can they find you?
Well, I try to stay on and off, as what you post can get you in trouble sometimes. So I try to monitor my Facebook. My Facebook is Rick Schaffer on Facebook. I also have more MTAR for you, or More Than a Rib, on Facebook. On Instagram, I am at MTAR, and on Twitter, I am More Than a Rib. So you can contact me in any way. I'm a motivational speaker. I am a mentor. You can contact me at 713-320-6856 for booking opportunities. And I also, while I'm here, let me tell you, I have a movement called Survive in the Mirror. I have 3 young ladies, 3 poets who are survivors of domestic assault, sexual assault, single-parent households, and divorce. And we give a great lady, I don't know if you know her, and I think you do. Her name is Thesha Jenkins.
I know her.
And Thesha,
that's my girl.
Thesha is my girl too. And
yeah, I gotta have her on the show. I will.
Yeah, she gave.
Thesha, if you're listening, honey, you got to come.
She said, "Hey, what's up?" And then she gave all of us domestic and sexual assault training.
Good.
So we're all certified to come into your organization and give training and give breakouts and PowerPoints. The special thing about this is that those young ladies deliver poetry based on their assault. So they I don't even want to call them survivors. They are more than survivors. They are victors. They have come and passed forward, and now they're working with me. 3 young ladies, Slaps the poet, Onay the poet, Diva, and Jim the poet. 3 great women poets that have something to share and also can help you in the depth of the training that we have. So I have dope mentoring as well, developing opportunities for personal enrichment, and all programs are for adults and children.
Wow. Well, I want to say thank you so much for
And
being
thank you
on
for
the
having me.
show.
I know we had a little glitch in the mix from the first meeting,
It's all
but
good.
we made up for it.
You know
God
I
is
love
good.
you. You know I love
God is
you.
good.
And Natalia, thank you so much for coming today. One of the things that I want to share before I close out is simply this. I've always been an advocate for authors. And some people think it's about money for me, but no, it's not. It's about purpose. And the reason why it's about purpose is because I feel that when you use the pen to tell your story, no one can take it away from you. It is chronicled for a lifetime. So you're going to see me pulling in authors from all around the world simply because that's what I believe in. I believe we are one community, and I believe that the written word is powerful and can change the world. So that's why we do Author Central Station. This is Sharon C. Jenkins. I am the Master Communicator, and you are listening to Afro Vibes Radio Worldwide, and we'll be back next Monday. And by the way, if you are in Houston, I will be at Write Fest on Saturday on a panel, so come check me out. I'd love to meet you. God bless, and we'll be back next Monday, 2:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. Bye-bye. Keep writing.
Thank you.